Okay, so we'll start sitting on our mats. You just want to make your way to your mat. And we'll have our feet in front of us, hang onto your shins and lengthen up through the crown of the head. And just find that vertical line through your spine. And we'll do our seated cat stretch. So as you exhale, round your spine backwards and just hang from your shins. Collarbones wide, shoulder blades low. Make sure your feet are still down. If they're not, you may have to walk them out a little bit. And then inhale, we'll just pull ourselves straight forward, elbows pointing to the floor and chest forward, chin in. So let's do 5. Exhale, round back, looking straight ahead. And then inhale, still looking straight ahead, pull forward. So it's like your arms are pulling you forwards and your abdominals and your feet are sort of helping you backwards. So inhale forwards, exhale, scoot back, inhale forwards, scoot back. Let's do 2 more. Just really opening this, all the little segments of our spine. Last one. And then we'll come up and we'll circle one arm behind us like we're doing a back crawl. Second arm circles back. And you can go a little wider and we'll separate our feet wide as well. I will face you. And we'll just let so you can see how wide I am. And then let the feet, or the knees, excuse me, veer off to the right. So you rock over and then roll over your heels and turn your knees the other way. So you're really getting some hip rotation. We're going to add on, so knees the other way again, but this time, if your knees are to your right, pick up your left hand and spiral across, sort of dive down to the floor, and then sweep the arm back, put it on the floor, and then rock your legs across. So you could inhale for the reach and the downward swoop, exhale to return. It doesn't really matter, just breathe as you need to, and just do a couple more nice big opening movements, getting rotation in your spine and your hips. Last one. And then we'll come back up. And then we're going to stretch your legs out in front. You can grab your band. And if you don't have a band, you can just pretend it. We're going to do a twisty type thing. But if you have a band, it's kind of nice to add a little resistance. And put it over the ball of your right foot. And you'll be holding onto it with your left hand. So like this. Okay, so something like that. I'm going to have you can have your left leg straight if you want, but keep the right knee a little bit bent. Yep. You're going to choke up on your band if you're using a band, and the other arm will point, right arm point straight forward. So we're going to pull the left elbow back close to the body. And when you do that, just let yourself rotate so you look over your shoulder. So your waist is causing that rotation. And then punch that arm slowly forward and you pull your right elbow back. Same thing, no band, but rotate to your right. So we can exhale, rotate left, pull with the band, or pull the band, and then reverse. So we're keeping a nice tall spine. We're not arching the back, we're just straight. So we exhale, pull, inhale, rotate the other way, punch forward. So as you pull, the shoulder blade comes closer to your spine. When you punch forward, the shoulder blade spreads. Always keep the shoulders low, and we'll do 2. Back and forth, like sort of like I was gonna say a piston, not really, a rotational movement. And last one to the right. And we're gonna stay on the right side, keep your left arm forward, and we're just gonna roll down sort of on the center of the body so the right elbow touches. We'll come back, we'll punch forward and pull to the left, and we'll do 1 more of those. So we just rotate, so we're just rotation with a little bit of a roll down. We come up, final pull to the left, and then let's switch sides. So more about just waking up your back muscles and getting some breath work in. So the right hand is going to reach across, grab your band, which is on your left foot, bend your left knee so it's easier to sit up tall, so stacking shoulders over hips, and the left arm just points forward, shoulders down. So let's pull, make it tight enough, don't break your band though. Pull right elbow back close to your body. Make sure you're not leaning to the right, you're just right on top of both sides of the pelvis. So we pull with our obliques, and then we punch forward, we rotate the other way, pull with your left hand. Oh, you can just keep your left elbow bent. Imagine you're making a fist, you're just pulling, yeah. So you pull right elbow back, punch forward with your left, pull your left elbow back like you're nudging someone, right arm forward. So let's speed it up. Exhale one way, inhale the other, keeping a nice tall spine, and your eyes and your head are moving in conjunction with your ribs. Couple more. Really feel the warmth in your core. Now the next time we pull to your left, right arm punches forward. So the band is not really helping us too much here. We're going to roll back, stay in the middle of your pelvis just until your left elbow lightly touches. Pull back up, punch to the left, pull with your right again, and we'll do 1 more to the left. So left rotates back, pull with your left elbow, roll back, tap the floor, and then we'll come back up. Last one, we'll do 2 feet in that band. And yeah, and just make sure you might roll down all the way if you want to. So feel free, you may have to scoot forward a bit. So choke up on your band, not too much, but make enough so that you have some support, but not so much that you get stuck. Open the arms a little bit for this one, like you're hugging a big beach ball. Both knees bent, and we're just going to roll. I'll let you decide. You can roll halfway down, or if you want to, you can roll all the way down, touch your waist, your ribs, your head, relax your arms for a second. Eyes look down, fold your chest forwards, raise your arms. Now, once you get to that sticky spot, pull out on the band a little bit with nice wide shoulders, roll up slowly, keeping tension on your band, head towards knees, and then we'll sit up, and we'll do it 2 more times. So exhale, send your waist back, hollow the front, open the back body, roll to the floor, rest your arms when you arrive at the floor if you want to go that far. Eyes look down, fold forwards, pull out in the bend like you're still hugging that ball, head forward, keeping the C curve, and then we'll sit up tall. Last one. So we scoop, round back, control the descent, rest your head, and one more up, exhale, rolling through, coming up nice and tall. Choke up on your band. If you're using a band, you can always fake it without anything, remember. So we do want the toes up. Back up a bit here. We're gonna just do 8 rows. So it's like you're nudging both elbows back and we punch forward. So pull, and you may not be able to punch forward all the way because you don't want to lose your band off your feet, but we're just waking up the muscles between our shoulder blades. Nice straight wrists for 5. And just keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. And then we'll take that off. Let's roll over to one side so we can come up to standing. Make your way up. Just tip this a bit. Okay, so let's do a little bit of our standing balance and leg work. So maybe before we get going with this, we'll just pick up one heel and just sort of roll through that ball of the foot, and your knee will circle, your ankle will circle the other way. You might get a few cracks out of the foot or ankle. Okay, and then we'll switch sides, circle the other way. So it's also a hip circle, so you can let the knee really circle. Just make sure all your toes are on the floor and your metatarsal heads. Reverse. Okay, then we'll put both feet down. The next one, you might want to have a chair close by if you need it. Otherwise, you can be freestyle in the middle of the room. Or if you have one of those foam rollers, those are nice too. I don't have mine handy, but just rise up onto the balls of the feet. Try to keep your ankles from splaying, and then we lower. So we'll do 5 of those. Just test it out for yourself. See how your ankles are doing today. Get ready for the snow and the ice. Couple more. Imagine you're squeezing a little ball between the ankles. It's almost like we're getting taller. As you go up, you might feel your core naturally kick in. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna bring our feet together, and we're gonna cross the left foot behind the right foot. Ooh, I almost fell over just doing that. Okay, I'm gonna back up so you can see me a bit better. And we're gonna squeeze the inner thighs. Now, depending on the shape of your bones, etc., your feet may be quite, you might have one foot quite a bit ahead of the other, or they may be fairly close, but either way, really squeeze the inner thighs tight. And then if you feel twisted, point your hip bones forward, because you may naturally rotate one way if there's some asymmetries happening. Okay, so we're head on here. We're gonna rise up, squeezing the inner thighs together, and then lower the heels down. So we'll just do about 4 of those. This one's tricky, so. It's harder because we've narrowed our base of support. Okay, so last one, we're gonna rise up and we're gonna lower. Now you can do this 2 ways. The easier way, we're just gonna sort of side bend over, dangle your right arm, come up slowly over the other way. Now, if you want a more challenge, you can continue like that, or put your hands behind your head carefully, elbows a little bit in front so you can see them. Side bend to the right again. And side bend to the left. So as I say, if this is feeling like you're getting dizzy, it's too tricky, just have the arms down, feel free to hang on to anything you need. Last one to the left, really open the side ribs, and then we'll come up. Let's shoot the arms up, circle them down, and then we'll take the front leg in front to a small lunge position. So we're staggered stance. Let me just go this way. You can see me a bit better. We're gonna lift the back heel a little bit. Maybe I'll go sideways so you can see me a bit better. And we're just gonna go straight down. So we're gonna tuck the hips under, you're gonna bend your knees and just check that your ribs are aligned like a cylinder. So we're not arched like this, we're nice straight line, so the back knee is under your hip. Just go as low as you're comfortable, and then we'll come up. Now the arms, we're gonna bring them in front of us, And we're gonna have our palms facing us. We're gonna wrap our elbows in, which will spread your shoulder blades. We're gonna go up and down 5 times. Inhaling down, exhaling up. Inhaling down, exhaling up. Think of reaching out through the elbows to feel the stretch across your shoulder blades, keeping you nice and flat. 2 more. And the final one, we're going to hold it for 5, 4. Keep squeezing your back hip under. 3, 2, 1. And then let's rise up. Switch feet. So we'll go back to the beginning. We'll put the right foot behind the left. Do I have that correct? Hopefully it's the other way. So for me, I want to twist this way. So whatever way it is for you, just rotate your hips to the front so your shoulders are aligned with your pelvic bones. Let's try our 5 calf raises. So we squeeze the inner thighs, we rise up, and we lower. One side may be different. Try to make sure all the toe bones are on the floor. And you don't have to go so high that your toes start to clench the floor for dear life. So if that's happening, just do a baby hover and see how far you can go without clenching with the toes. Because we really don't want to be relying on our toes for balance. It should be coming from other places. But sometimes you do what you got to do. The last one, squeeze, rise up. And then let's incorporate that side bend. So you can either keep, let's try it with the arms down, one way up and then the other. So your ribs open. If you want to encourage more balance challenge, hands behind the head. And fingers interlaced, side bend. Like a teapot spout, pouring tea out of your elbow. One more each side. See if you can increase the range. Good. We come back to center. Ooh, almost lost it there. Circle the arms around. Take your back foot, step it out in front. Or maybe it's the other way now. I forget now. Uh-oh. Hopefully we're in the other leg. Am I wrong? Maybe it's the other way. I think I am wrong. We're going to do the lunge. If you just figure out what leg that is, I'm sorry. Wrap your elbows in front. It's like if you were holding 2 little hand mirrors and you're staring at them, right? We're going to tuck the back hip under. I feel like it was my other leg actually. So if I was wrong, just change your leg. And we're going to go down on the inhale, exhale, push through both feet equally. So in a sense, if all is well here, we're just going straight down and straight up. We're not going forward or back. So if you feel like there's too much load in the front leg, you probably need to get more into your back hip more. So both legs are working, not just your front. So let's do 3 more. Wrap your elbows in, shoulder blades nice and low. If you feel like they're elevating, slide them down. 2. And the grand finale, we will hold this. Just go as low as you want to challenge yourself for 5, 4. Keep squeezing the back hip under. 3, 2, 1. And then let's come on up. And we'll come up to standing. All right. So let's do one more leg exercise up here. This one you definitely may want to hold onto a wall, chair, or your foam roller. Maybe I'll just grab one just to demo that, although the foam roller won't help you too much. I'll leave it there just in case. Okay, but probably a chair is better. I don't have a chair. Okay, so let's stand on your right leg. Be on both legs, but hips are even. We'll bend the left knee, so it's like a hamstring curl. Double check with your hands or just look down that both legs are in the same lineup. You don't want your right knee or your left knee in front of you. So we're like so, that there'd be if there's a wall here, my thighs are against the wall. Hands on hips if you want. Now we're going to open the left leg out like one of those clamshell exercises, but don't let your pelvis lift and then come down. So just try that 2 more times. So if I'm honest, this is about what I have here. The right leg stays straight. So the final one, hold it. Now this is where we're going to get exciting. We're going to get this leg higher, not by using this leg, but by using the other leg, by tipping the torso towards our, hopefully, chair or whatever it is over there, towards the right. Squeeze so you're bending into your standing leg, your right leg. And then you're going to kick that other leg out, bend, lower the knee as you bring your torso up as I leave it there. Okay, let's try 2 more. So it's a clamshell. And then it's a torso lean to the right, which will actually fire up your stance leg even more. You can add that little kick if you're into kickboxing. Bend and bring it down. 1 more time. This is challenging. So we lift the leg, left leg. We hinge to the right. So that deepens the dimple in the right hip. Add the kick if you want that little extra. Bend and bring it down. Let's put that knee down. Let's do a relaxing stretch. Just round down, ragdoll. Hang your head, take a big breath, and make sure your knees are quite bent to enjoy the back stretch. And then exhale, let's roll up 1 vertebra at a time. All right, and let's switch legs. And if you want to put that, whatever it is, a chair or something over there just in case, you may not need it, but it's there if you want it. Okay, so we'll stand on the left leg. It's always easier to balance, by the way, if you're not on a sticky mat that's too squishy. So we're gonna, if you're having trouble, stand on your hardwood floor if you have a floor. So we'll bend the right knee. We're gonna open it out to the side, keeping the hips even. And then you're just gonna take your body, make sure your ribs are tucked in, and you're going to lean to the left, keeping your big toe on the floor there, and then add a kick. And you're welcome to put your hand on that chair, wall, or foam roller. Bend, and then we come slowly back, and we'll do it again. So it's a clamshell. Clams are so easy compared to this. We bow to the left, increasing the dimple in the left hip, add the kick, bend. This is supposed to be called peaceful Pilates, this one. Hopefully this is peaceful. So we open, we hinge over, you add the little kick, bend, and we come on down and lower. And then we'll just roll down. This time we'll go right down to the floor, walk out into a small downward dog position. You can keep your knees bent or straight, whatever feels natural for you. Don't go too big because we want to come down in a second into quadruped. And once you're there, we'll inhale, let's lower knees to the floor. So we're in quadruped. So if you're not quite in quadruped, just make a quick shift there. And we're going to do 5 up and down hovers to downward dog, or what really is the elephant. It's a Pilates version of down dog. So let's hover the knees, and then we pike the hips up. Let's keep the knees a little bit bent so the heels are just relaxing towards the floor. So we're not lifting into a high heel position. We're trying to get the heels low, if not on or almost on the floor, but the knees are bent. And then we'll inhale, let's come back down. So the knees can either hover, or if this bothers your wrist, you can rest your knees down. And then we'll go back up, exhale up. Inhale, we hover down. Either touch or hover. Last 2, hover up, hinge the hips back into your bent knee elephant. Inhale back down. Last one, exhale, pike the hips, reach the heels down. This time we'll straighten our legs and just do a little walk out, lower one heel, then the other, stretching your calf muscles. 2 and 1. Let's go back to quadruped, come on down. And then we'll come into the high kneeling position. So if some of you may want to pad your knees up a couple, maybe your mat needs an extra level, but you're okay. And what we'll do is hold on to the band. If you don't have a band, no worries, just pretend. Or you can squeeze a yoga block too, or it doesn't really matter, just hold something, a towel will do. We just pull out on it. We're going to squeeze our hips. All we're going to do is lean backwards. So we're going to lean from the knees. So not the hips, which would be like we're sitting. Instead, we're pressing the hips forwards as we lean back, challenging our quads and lengthening them actually, but it's a challenge. And then we come up and we're going to inhale, raise the arms. You can pull on the band a little bit and do a little chest lift, look up a bit. And then exhale, arms forward, ribs down, lean back as far as you're comfortable. Good, squeeze the hips forward. And then we lift up and just do a little chest lift as feels comfortable. You know, it's nice to pull out on the band a bit. If you have a stretchy band, let's do 2 more. So we lean, press forward and arch. Last one, we're going to lean back. Now let's stay back here. And we're going to rotate the chest maybe to the left, turning, and then we come back to the front, and then we rotate the chest to the right. Keep your hips pressing forwards. Last one each way. Turn. It's like we're holding a tray of coffee. We don't want to spill it. Over to the other side, and then we'll come forwards. We'll come all the way up. One more little chest lift up there. And let's come on down to child's pose. Just take a few breaths resting and put the band aside. All right. Okay, so let's come on down onto our back. You can swing your legs in front. If you have your yoga block, grab that. You don't need it, but you can just put it as a spacer between your 2 knees, or a couch cushion will do, something small there, a little ball. Roll down. And if you have your weights, you don't, as I say, these are just optional things. They're just fun to play with. You can put them beside you, one on either side. So I'm going to tip my monitor down a bit while you get sorted. Okay, so where did my block go? Here it is. So let's start with bridging. So we'll just have the feet, heels a little bit under the knees, or if you want a little more challenge, a tiny bit ahead of your knees. So rather than too close, which does make it a little easy, bring your heels out either under, or I would suggest a little bit beyond your knees. Okay, so here we go. Just make sure the heels are not wider than your knees. Or narrower. As we exhale, let's roll the hips up, just up into the air. And once you're up there, let's inhale, swing the arms up, sort of like a Frankenstein arm movement. But we're gonna take the arms backwards. We're gonna open them out to about the width of our mat, palms still facing the ceiling, if that feels okay. We're not resting them, they're just hovering off your floor. Squeeze your block a tiny bit, take an extra breath in. It's like your knees are pulling you forward, your heels are dragging towards your shoulder blades, and you're reaching backwards in opposition. So take one more breath there, feel the inner spiral of your thighs against your block, and exhale, let's roll down, empty the lungs, roll down one vertebra at a time. And once you arrive back to neutral pelvis, you can circle the arms out to the side, just careful of any things in the way there, and then rest the palms down in the mat. And let's do two more like that. So we inhale, prepare, exhale, roll the hips up to a nice straight line. We don't want to be arched or flared in the front ribs. Now we sweep the arms up. Let's inhale, open them out a bit so it opens the chest walls a bit. I would say is the width of the mat is a nice option, so it should feel like a V shape behind you. Inhale, let's squish the block a tiny bit more. Make sure the big toes, baby toe center of each heel is on the floor. Squish your hips up a little higher. Think of the higher we go with this, by the way, it's harder to hold the block. So make sure that you've still got good contact of your block, knees against block. And finally, exhale one vertebra at a time as an idea. Keep the arms behind you when you do that, so you get a good traction effect. And when you arrive at the ground, circle the arms around, and let's do one more. So rest the arms, inhale. If you want to make it a little more challenging, maybe walk your feet out a tiny bit more, see how it feels. That will be more hamstring. Inhale, exhale, scoop up. Think of dragging yourself forward with your legs. Inhale, arms swoop back and out a little bit to a V shape. So your armpits opening to the ceiling, and you're going to squeeze the block again. Heavy heels, scoop the pelvis up nice and high, big breath in, and exhale, let's roll down. Keep the pull happening even as you roll down. So your hamstrings are really feeling this, rolling through. And when you're all done, circle the arms around. All right, bring your feet in a little closer now. We're gonna grab our weights if you have them. And they're very light. Make sure it's nothing, we're not talking about 10 pounds here, maybe 2 or 3 or 4, nothing too crazy. If you don't have them, no problem. But let's reach whatever, or if you have nothing, just reach your arms up in the air or reach your weights up in the air, palms facing forward. You can also take your band if you want, if you don't have weights, and just put it across your wrist for something to hang on to as a spacer. So shoulder heads on the floor. Let's inhale, take the arms behind you, little by little. Let's test out what feels right for us. So just go as low as you can without popping your ribs, arching your back, or feeling like your shoulders are out of control. So if you feel unstable, don't go so low, especially with heavier weights. Take a breath in, nod your chin, and then as we exhale, swing the arms forward, right to the floor in front of you by your hips, and curl the chest up and over. So we're coming into the ab prep. Hold there, chin down, inhale, sweep the arms up. You can squeeze your block a little bit, and then take it backwards, resting the head. If this bothers anyone's neck, just hold your head instead. You don't have to use your arms like this. So exhale, we fold, empty the lungs, sigh the air out. Inhale, sweep up as high as you can, arcing back. So the breath part of this is really important. So you look down, so you can sigh the air out, like you're missing a big pair of sunglasses. That's one way to do it. Sweep up and back. Or we could also make the sh sound, like we're telling someone to be quiet. So inhale, prepare. That'll get more obliques. The first one got more transverses. So they all have their different effects on your abdominals. Let's try one more. So I'll let you pick your breath sound of choice. I'm going to do the ha sound because it's less noisy. Exhale to curl, misting your glasses. Sweep the arms up, and then we'll finish resting the head down. And you can just circle the arms out to the side. Now let go of your weights if you're holding those. And you can take your block out as well, actually. Bring your inner thighs together, feet flat on the floor. We'll do a small twist. And double check. Sometimes when we have the arms out to the side, we actually, without realizing it, and I just noticed that I was doing it, arms are a little too high because we have a lot of shoulder tension sometimes. So maybe just a little lower than our shoulders might be better. So knees right, twist, head left. So we end up rocking onto the right side of our right foot. Exhale, pull back. Knees left, eyes and head right. And we come back. So just try that nice, easy variation a couple more times. Very, very simple exercise, but it's really good for your just stretching and lengthening your core as you use it. And make sure the knees stay bolted together. When you're done from the left, we come back to center. Now let's try something a little different. We'll bring the arms a little bit closer to our hips, palms down. We're gonna fold the legs to tabletop and we'll flex both feet. Sort of like our dead bug position. Drop your ribs. Imagine you have a giant cat or whatever sandbag sitting on your ribs, or maybe a big dog. Okay, so what we're gonna do is knee circles, hip circles. So bring your inner thighs together up there and your ankles together. Pull your knees a little closer to the chest. This is the easiest part. Right now, your low back is probably no problem, it's on the floor. We wanna keep it on the floor now as we open the legs into a V shape. Try not to turn your feet out like a duck, keep them parallel. Now imagine your feet are on a little coffee table, or better yet, we're under a coffee table, and your shins are going to slide under the coffee table forwards in front of you, only to the point that your back is still on the floor and you're not straining through your neck or shoulders. Now we close the legs out in front of us out there, and then we pull the knees back towards the chest. So inhale, we open wide. We slide out under the coffee table, just as low as you can go without, I wouldn't strain the legs completely, pull the knees back in. So we'll do that 2 more times. You can always put a little cushion under your head if you find there's a lot of neck tension, so no problem. Let's do 1 more big hip circle this way. So open wide, slide your legs under that coffee table, and we pull it in. Now we go the other way just for 4. So again, just reestablish, ribs are down, low back's down. Exhale forwards now. Open, toes straight up, and we circle back in. Exhale out, belly stays down on the floor, well, back stays down on the floor, not the belly. In, and last 2. So how far can we get away with without losing the main important thing, which is keeping the back on the floor? Last one, out. So challenging your core as you go further, you go out, open, and we bring it back in. Great, and then we're gonna lower our feet to the mat. All right. Now we'll do 1 more thing, hands behind the head. So let's, we're gonna use the up, we're gonna bring the chest up too, which makes it easier in some respects. So let's exhale, curl the head and shoulders up, look forward through your knees, and then we're gonna pop our legs up to that tabletop position, flex the feet. So this is the more common one we see in Pilates. So we're gonna do a single leg stretch variation. So push out through the left heel, like if your heel's on a table and you're pushing it out, pull it in, push like you're pushing something heavy across the room with the right. Inhale, center, exhale, push. Same principle as the last exercise, lower back stays on the floor. So let's go for 5 and 4, just keep breathing, 2, 1, and then let's finish both knees back in and rest the head and shoulders back, lower the feet, 1, 2. We're gonna roll over to one side. Okay, ooh, running out of time. I always run out of time in this class. Okay, so let's actually, for the sake of time, we're gonna flip right onto our stomach into the Sphinx position. So you can, let's say, parallel forearms. You can make a fist or sort of thumbs up position, whatever you prefer. Collarbones wide. We're going to lift our belly buttons off the mat. And from here, we're going to lift or pull the breastbone forward to accent the upper back. So the first thing, we'll just do a hamstring curl. The right knee bends, flex the foot, and then lower it down. And then without tipping your pelvis, or trying not to tip the pelvis, curl the left heel in. And if your quads are a little tight, your body will want to twist to escape it. So just keep an eye on that. So let's say you're very tight. You may only bend your heel a little, or your knee a little bit, which is fine. So better that than overdoing it and then sort of torquing the pelvis. 1 more time to the left. Keep a good eye on that pelvis. Stabilize it. Stabilize your low back. All right. Now the next one, we're going to go into a plank variation. So we're going to pull the thighs off the mat, lift your ribs. So you're in a plank, kneeling plank position. Eyes look down, unless you're looking at me. Now, if your knees bug you with the pressure in the mat, you can skip this, but otherwise we're gonna do a hamstring curl with the right leg. Keep maintaining your core, lower that down. Left knee bends, heel to foot to ceiling, lower. A couple more of those. Hamstring curl, we lower, keep your core active, lower, and now let's rest the upper thighs back down. Now you might have to bring your elbows out a bit if you're finding you're running out of space. Now just drop your head for a second, relax your neck. Give your neck a little breather, breathe in. Now we'll do 1 more set. So we're gonna exhale, pull the chest forward, eyes look straight ahead. Maybe just do a sort of a sloppy shoulder blade squeeze, see what that feels like. Kind of nice actually, but we don't wanna stay like this. And then fix it so you're nice and integrated. And now we're gonna lift the core. So lift your belly off the floor. Your bum is up, but you're not lifting it in the air. So your pelvis is tucked under. Do the right hamstring curl again, but I'm going to give you an extra challenge if you want. So hold your curl, make sure your hips are even. And with the ultimate challenge, we're going to press the right foot up into the air without tipping the hip. So exhale, your left knee will take more pressure, by the way, so skip it if it bugs your knee, but press your right foot in the air. Ooh, that's a lot. Lower, and then the other side, left heel bends, left knee bends. Press your foot like you're stomping on the ceiling. One more each side. Flex right, squeeze your foot up. Lots of glute work, lots of core work. Last one. Foot up, knee up, lower, and let's rest down finally. Just take a nice long stretched out position on your mat. You can wiggle your hips back, swoosh your hips side to side, rocking or rolling a bit. Just get nice and relaxed. All right. And then from here, one more big breath in, big breath out. Bring your hands to a push-up position, collarbones wide. We're going to push ourselves off the floor into basically a push-up position, a plank. We'll just do one for the sake of time. We can't do none. We have to do one push-up. And then last one, push up, and we'll shift back into shell stretch. Relax. And in your shell stretch, you can walk your hands to the right. Oops, lost an earbud. Take a breath in, back to center, over to the left. Big breath in, come back to center, and then we'll slowly roll your way up. Nice, luxurious roll up. Head coming up last. All right, so excellent work, everybody.